Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take your sources and really try to pull out the most important bits of knowledge. Today, we're doing a deep dive into understanding depression. It's a topic that, well, affects more people than many of us probably realize.
Right. And our goal here, our mission really, is to get into the crucial insights from these sources, what depression actually is, how it shows up, maybe what's behind it.
And crucially, the paths towards healing and support.
Exactly. And to start, it's so important, like you said, to get past this idea of depression just feeling sad. The sources really show it's much deeper. It's systemic.
Yeah, that profound, often invisible struggle, that's what makes it so hard sometimes for others to grasp, maybe even for the person experiencing it. It really gets into your energy, your motivation, relationships, even how you see yourself.
It does.
And look, if any of this is sounding familiar to you listening, just know this right away. You're absolutely not alone in this. It doesn't mean you're weak.
Not at all.
It just means you're human. So yeah, let's dig into what the sources actually reveal.
Okay, so challenging misconceptions first. We often have this image, don't we? Depression means someone constantly in tears, maybe stuck in bed.
Right, that very visual idea of sadness.
But the sources paint a really different picture. Depression has so many faces, and honestly, many of them are hidden in plain sight.
That's such a key point. You know, the sources mention things like struggling to get out of bed even if you've technically slept for, say, 10 hours. You're just exhausted.
Or snapping at people you love, seemingly for no reason, that your debility.
Yeah. Or, and this one's fascinating, the idea of smiling depression. Someone can seem totally fine on the outside, functioning at work, socializing.
While inside feeling completely numb, utterly empty.
Or just that quiet loss of interest. Things you used to absolutely love just don't spark anything anymore.
Precisely. And that leads to the clinical side. It's not just a mood, right? It's a mental health condition.
Yeah.
That means it's a diagnosable illness.
Okay. So not just feeling down for a day or two. It's persistent.
Exactly. Persistent and impacting everything. Physical health, emotional state, your thoughts, your ability to function.
And when you look at the global scale, wow. The World Health Organization says over 280 million people worldwide live with depression.
Staggering number.
It really is. And each one of those numbers is a person, an individual story. Could be you listening, could be your neighbor, your friend, navigating this often invisible weight.
So, okay, someone's listening, maybe recognizing some of this, especially the less obvious signs. They might be thinking, okay, what are the specific red flags? What should I really look out for?
Right. What does it actually feel like day to day?
Well, the sources list some common symptoms, and it's important to say you might not have all of them. But if a few of these stick around for weeks or longer, that's usually a sign to pay attention.
Persistence again? Okay, so what's on the list?
Well, there's that persistent feeling of sadness, or sometimes just emptiness, a void.
Okay.
A big one is losing interest or pleasure in hobbies, activities, even sex. Things you used to enjoy just feel flat.
That makes sense. What else?
Fatigue. Real deep fatigue or low energy, even when you've rested.
The kind sleep doesn't fix.
Exactly. Then there are feelings of guilt, worthlessness, or hopelessness. Just this pervasive sense that things are bad and won't get better.
That sounds incredibly heavy.
It is. We also see sleep problems could be sleeping way too much or insomnia, not being able to sleep enough.
Either extreme.
Right. Same with appetite and weight. Noticeable changes up or down without really trying. Difficulty concentrating is common too. Making decisions feels impossible, kind of like brain fog.
Or that mental slowness.
And then, importantly, sometimes thoughts of death or suicide. That's a critical symptom to be aware of.
Absolutely critical. And it leads back to that myth, doesn't it? The idea you can just snap out of it.
Yeah.
How did the sources really push back against that?
Forcefully. They make it really clear. Having these symptoms is not weakness. It's not a character flaw.
It's an illness.
It's an illness,
Right.
like diabetes or asthma. It's not a choice, and you can't just will it away. It needs care and attention.
It deserves care and attention. So if it's an illness, what do we know about the causes? Is it just one thing?
No, definitely not. The sources emphasize that it's usually a complex mix. Think of it like a puzzle with different pieces for different people.
Okay, so what are some of those pieces?
Well, there are biological factors, things like brain chemistry, neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, how they function or malfunction.
The chemical messengers.
Exactly. And genetics can play a role too, maybe making someone more vulnerable.
So it can run in families sometimes?
It can, yeah. Then you have major life events, things like trauma, abuse, experiencing a significant loss like losing a loved one or a job.
Big stressors.
Huge stressors, and also ongoing stress, maybe less dramatic but chronic, like financial struggles or caring for someone with a chronic illness or having one yourself.
The constant pressure.
Right, it wears down your system.
Yeah.
And social factors too, things like feeling really isolated, lacking a strong support network.
Loneliness is a big factor then.
It can be. And, you know, one of the most perhaps frustrating things for people is that sometimes it just seems to appear. There's no obvious reason you can point to.
Right. It feels like it comes out of the blue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that can be really confusing and invalidating.
Yeah, and it's so important to say, if that's your experience, your pain is still completely valid. Even if you or others can't pinpoint an obvious cause, the suffering is real.
Absolutely. The pain is real, regardless of the trigger or lack of an obvious one.
So understanding all that, the different faces, the symptoms, the complex causes, where does that leave us in terms of, well, finding a way forward, healing and support?
The first step, and the sources repeat this again and again, is breaking the silence. Talk to someone.
Just start the conversation.
Yes. It can be anyone you trust, a friend, partner, family member, or your doctor, or finding a therapist. The point is, don't try to carry it all by yourself.
That takes courage, but it's vital. And what kind of support is available then? What helps?
There are several effective paths. Therapy is a major one. Things like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, help you work with those negative thought patterns.
Kind of retraining your thinking.
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
Identifying and challenging them. Medication can also be really helpful for many people, working on rebalancing that brain chemistry we mentioned.
Okay.
But it's not just about professional help. Lifestyle changes are also highlighted in the sources as being incredibly important.
Like what kind of changes?
Specifically, things that support your overall well-being, getting enough quality sleep, focusing on a balanced diet, and regular physical activity or movement. Even gentle movement helps.
So the mind-body connection is really strong here.
Definitely. And sometimes healing doesn't start with some huge gesture. It starts really small.
Small steps.
Tiny steps. The sources talk about how just managing to take a shower when that feels monumental.
Yeah.
That's a victory.
Okay.
Or drinking a glass of water. Or just stepping outside for 5 minutes of fresh air.
Things that seem almost insignificant.
They might seem that way, but they're not nothing. They're like planting tiny seeds. They're the start of building momentum, acts of self-care when everything feels impossible. They are acts of courage.
I love that idea of small seeds. There was a quote in the sources, wasn't there? Something about pain needing compassion.
Yes. It was powerful. Someone sharing their experience. I lived with depression for years, and I thought I had to keep it hidden. But once I started talking about it, I realized I wasn't broken. I was in pain. And pain needs compassion, not silence.
Wow. Pain needs compassion, not silence. That really hits home. It highlights talking about it and also being kind to yourself through it.
Exactly. Self-compassion is huge. And speaking of reaching out, there's a critical point we absolutely need to cover.
Which is?
What to do if you or someone you know is in immediate crisis, experiencing thoughts of suicide.
Right. Absolutely vital information. What should people do?
Please reach out for immediate help. Don't wait. In the U.S., you can call or text 988. That's the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Okay, call or text 988 in the U.S.
In the U.K., you can call Samaritans anytime on 116 123.
116 123 for Samaritans in the U.K.
And if you're listening from another country, please look up your local emergency number or crisis hotline. There is help available.
That's so important to share. Your life matters, even and especially when your brain might be telling you something different in those moments. Please reach out.
Absolutely. So, wrapping this up, depression is incredibly heavy. It's real. But it doesn't define who you are.
It doesn't mean you're broken or unworthy. It means you're human. And the sources are clear. Healing is possible.
It really is.
So if this deep dive resonated with you today, maybe think about sharing it. Someone you know might need to hear some of these insights.
Yeah.
And just remember this. Every single day you're still here navigating this. You're doing something incredibly brave.
That's a powerful thought to end on.
Until next time, take care of your mind and please be gentle with your heart.